Beta 3 of watchOS 26 is official release, and let's go ahead and sit down and see what's new. And of course, I will have timestamps of everything in a video description down below. So the first thing I've noticed, if the Apple Watch detects that your Apple Watch is draining its battery a little bit faster than it should on a normal typical day, this notification will pop up on your wrist, letting you know if you'd like to quickly put your watch in low power mode. I managed to accomplish this by running multiple sensors during my workout, so that's how I was able to toggle this new notification to come on in. But this is definitely a nice safety feature, especially in situations where you're outdoors, in the woods, and you're not near a charger and you're expecting your watch to make it throughout the day. This notification definitely is a nice peace of mind, especially when you can just enable low power mode. Now, speaking of battery life, I have noticed the battery life on beta 3 is much better than beta 1 and 2 previously was, as I did have my Apple Watch fully charged this morning at 100%, and now we are looking at 89%. So there are a couple of new important UI changes, one of which is the lock page, as it does feature the liquid glass design now on the lock pin code. So now whenever you lock your device, it actually does use the glass effect with the wallpapered watch face that you selected in the background. Now, other changes can be in the apps icon. Just like CarPlay with the new updated calendar, which is kind of a downgrade, hopefully they revert back to it, we did receive a new app updates on its first-party native apps, such as the stock apps feature a new update. Look, the Note app did too, because now it looks like the Note app like it looks like on our iPhone. No longer looks like the Note app on the Apple Vision. And then the Sleep app also got a new update as well, as now it's like purplish. It's hard to tell on camera, but that is actually redesigned in previous one. Another place I noticed the update is whenever you start a workout, by tapping the play button, and you tap play, it does like the weird play liquid glass effect. Then when it comes to general notifications, I've also noticed the round edges on some of your notifications got tweaked. Like this one, for instance, it has a much larger icon versus the text. And then for smart hints, it's now compatible even on most complicated watch faces, like here it is on the Wayfinder. Back then, the smart hint would only work on simple watch faces. Now it's compatible throughout. But other than that, those are all the significant changes for beta 3. Here's the rest of all the new changes and updates that Apple did during these last few betas for watchOS 26. Let's go ahead and start off with the new flip gesture. The cool thing about this new flip gesture is basically a newer version of the double tap. This old school functionality, well, it's not really old school, but this feature has been redesigned because now you can just simply do this and it'll always take you to your watch face. So if you're a notification, you do that, watch face. Receive an incoming call, do that, dismiss it. Alarm, dismiss it. It's super convenient and I find it to be extremely useful, especially when you have both your hands occupied and if you're holding your hand to your significant other as an example. Instead of doing the pinch gesture, which is obvious what you're doing the simple wrist rotation like this is a lot less odd in public. And if you go into your Apple Watch settings and then you scroll down to the gesture tab, in here, scroll down, you'll see that flick gesture, wrist flick. You can enable it or disable that. So it's great that Apple did give us a setting to disable that if we decided we don't need it. Now, if you look closely, when operating your Apple Watch, the animation will actually peek to the watch face. This is similar to what we've seen with iOS 18, where before a simple press on the buttons will cause the animation to like move and stuff like that. This also includes like the volume knob and such. You can do the exact same thing now. Well, you can see the exact same experience on the Apple Watch now. So a little hidden update right there. This also applies with the action button too, if you have an Apple Watch Ultra. Now, I don't know if you looked, but we did receive the UI, the glass UI update across the entire Apple Watch. Everything from the notifications to the apps as well. The setting app features a glass look as well, the liquid glass, and so much more. But where you definitely see the new update can be located in Control Center, as this is how the new Control Center layout looks like, as I previously covered in my first video. But the UI also has been overhauled. By now selecting Edit and tap Plus, this is where you can continue to add more custom icons to Control Center. But if you look closely, it now supports third-party apps. And this also supports vehicle control too. So I could control my F-150 from here. And if you have a Tesla, you can also control your Tesla. Or if you have like a power bank in your wall. You can also control your house power bank from here. And on the very bottom, you can see I can toggle my AC control right here on my Tesla, as well as lock or unlock my vehicle, and so much more. It even supports smart home appliances and accessories as well. You see, by going into edit and we tap plus, if you go to the very bottom, you'll see the home app. You could do things from scenes to control your home accessories, and then you can manually choose your accessories. You can also program robot vacuums from here as well. So I got my smart door locks, my lights. You even have the search ability. So if you're missing some of the control center icons, you just need to tap edit and tap plus, and you'll likely find it right here. Everything from like camera control as well. Additionally, in control center, if you tap the battery life percentage of your device, there's now a new column down here, which will also monitor the battery life condition of your other Apple devices that are nearby. Now, Smart Stack also received a new update as well, where it now supports Smart Stack hints. One of the most useful ones that I typically find myself using the most is whenever I launch the camera app on my iPhone and launch it like so. If I look at my watch, a little shortcut hint icon will pop up here, tell me I can tap on it. It'll take me to Smart Stacks, and then I can tap on it one more time. It will give me quicker access to my camera control, which then I'll be able to use the Apple Watch as the viewfinder. But it simply doesn't just do that. Whenever your iPhone detects it loses reception, it will tell your Apple Watch that you are off the grid, and you'll see a hint right here for backtrack capability. So you can just simply tap on here and then just go and start doing a backtrack. It does it independently, and it's smart enough to detect if you're connected to like an elliptical, or if you're using one of those NFC gym equipments. It can also do work that way as well. It works phenomenal. And if you'd like to see additional settings, there is settings for the Smart Hint ability in the Settings app. And scroll down to Smart Stack right in here. And where it says Widget Suggestions, this is where you can select. And then you'll find the Smart Stack setting right here, which you could enable or disable if you don't plan on really using it. Now, as I previously stated, Control Center features a lot of customization than ever before. If you end up adding a lot of stuff and you want to reverse everything, there also is a setting for that too now. As now there's a Control Center setting, you can locate it in the settings right here on your Apple Watch, and you have the ability to reset the entire layout. Now, a new app that was recently added is the Notes app. That is now officially available on the Apple Watch. This is something that's well overdue, very similar to like the Calculator app, how it used to not be available on the Apple Watch. Now you have the native Note app for Apple. And this will automatically synchronize on your notes on your phone to the Apple Watch. And then whenever you create a note here, it will immediately use dictation, and it will immediately begin transcribing everything onto the Notes app, and you can just tap done. Of course, you can reverse back to keyboard or scribbles if you like, but dictation, to my experience, has been working extremely well. Now, the Note app also has a new complication as well. So if you like to use a watch face, you could tap edit, select the complication, and just scroll until you find N for notes. And this is where you'll find a quick shortcut to your Note app from here. You can also program it to be a part of your control center as well. If you scroll down, here it is, the Note app. I can simply tap here. It will quickly launch my Note app. Another new app that was added is the Workout app. Well, it hasn't been added. It's just got a massive UI overhaul. By launching the Workout app, this is a new UI, and it'll automatically use Siri intelligence to like suggest what kind of workout you're likely to be selecting. And then again, you can use the double tap gesture to toggle between the different workouts that you have. But whenever you select one, on the top corners, you'll notice there's new shortcuts. Down here on the very bottom, it's your notifications, which also gives you access to your workout buddy, which uses AI to encourage you to push on, or you achieve this, or good job on your walking spree and stuff like that. It's all done by AI, and you have two voices to choose from. So here's a preview of how voice 2 sounds like.
Way to get your workout started.
And then here's voice 1.
Way to get your workout started.
Again, these are AI voices, which all correlate to the music that you're listening to. So when you start a workout, let's get this workout started. Listening to Daft Punk as an example. It will literally start a workout like that. And then it'll also tell you, like, you have been on a solid spree in the last 3 days. Let's keep it up. It does that type of thing. And then if you find them to be annoying, you can always disable it. I actually find them to be comfortable. I thought I was going to be annoyed with them, but they're pretty good. But you could go down and continue on adjusting the alerts. If you like your workout buddy to notify you if you're below a certain heart rate, you can do that. Your times, your splits, But right now, target alerts is what's enabled by default, and I think that's more enough for everybody else. So that's pretty cool. And then on the other side, this audio note, by selecting here, you can allow Apple to automatically suggest music when you start your workout. You can do it, choose your current playlist or music library, or you can let Apple suggest the song you like to listen to based off your listening habits. So now whenever you start a workout, it immediately will start playing music that you are likely to enjoy. And to my surprise, it's actually been pretty consistent. Now on top here is other goal settings you could adjust. You could customize certain things, such as add a timer, distance, same stuff we had access to in the past. It's just located in a different place. You can also do custom categories as well. And then on the top left over here with the note icon, you can now finally edit the metrics on what type of metrics you like to see whenever you start a workout. You can include heart zone instead, segments, and splits, elevation, just more customization ability. You can also change the order too, because these are the ones that we typically see when we start a workout. But it's pretty cool that now you can actually tap edit and decide what you want to see and what you don't want to see with these different metric watch faces, or screen faces, I should say. Now, if you're like me, who constantly has their device on silent, now you don't have to do that. If you're somebody who likes having their notifications on loud, you know how the Apple Watch used to just been loud, there wasn't really a volume slider or anything like that? Now there is. Thanks to this new latest update, it's able to detect your current ambient levels and adjust its notification audio to the environment you're in. So if you're in a library and it knows the ambient levels are low, whenever you receive a notification or you're talking to Siri, it's not going to respond to you or be super loud in those quiet environments. It's able to adjust all this. You'll be able to find this new setting in the Setting app on the Apple Watch, and then scroll down to Sound and Haptics in here. And go down to where it says Automatically Adjust Volume. This is that new setting you could enable. If you disable it, again, you could override it, but sometimes you may find it to be too low or too loud in certain environments. But then on default level, you can also allow it to be quieter. So you still have the ability to actually select a certain level you like it to be. And I already used it quite a few times, and I'm very impressed. I'm also more impressed with the Siri response, as it's not loud anymore like it used to be, especially if you're indoors asking it a question. But outdoors, at max loudness, that's ideal. Now, other apps that receive an update is the Message app. That's a cool update on the Message app is that you could customize the wallpaper on your group chat. And to perform that is that it's easy to literally just tap it on the group chat name and then select backgrounds, and you can select some custom ones from suggestions down here based off your photo library, or you could use Apple Intelligence to generate some unique ones for you as well. Here, let me lower the brightness for you a bit so you can see that better on the camera. And then if you do like polls as an example, and we send a poll to like vote in the group chat, you'll see that vote poll also get added in the Message app on the Apple Watch as well. And you can start voting like so, and it will adapt in real time. Live translations is also supported on the Message app on the Apple Watch as well. Then the phone app also received a UI update as well, as now you have your top fours on top. It's also more organized than ever before, but you still have access to your number dial. And then of course you have your filters up here for your voicemail, spams, and all that nonsense. And then when receiving an incoming call and you answer, it also supports screening if you don't want to pick up a call. But then on your main device on your iPhone, you could tap more right here on these dots and select Hold Assistant. And it'll automatically notify your watch when you're no longer on hold, and it even tells you right there on the smart stack. And it will begin ringing your wrists when your hold is done. And if you look closely, it's also doing the live screening right there during the phone call. Now, when it comes to watch faces, unfortunately, there was no new watch face added on this version of watchOS 26. The only update we received was the photo app, which now supports the glass clock icon update. But if we add a new watch face, you'll notice that everything is now fully categorized. But if you like to go back to the old look, you can always scroll all the way down and select all watch faces. You see, the native watch face app for the Apple Watch has an error message, which I'll look at a little bit. But if we get out of here, on the very bottom, it also supports the liquid glass update. So whenever you hold, this looks more like water, but it's liquid glass. It has that UI update, including all the icons. But in watch faces is what I want to show you. You can see that everything is now fully categorized like how it is now. It's better organized than ever before. Of course, you can select all watch faces and it'll take you to the old school look. But the only new watch face again that got added was the photo watch face, which all it really was an update. But whenever you select shuffle, this splash screen will pop up. And if you look closely, you can now select featured. Before we did not have that ability. Just unfortunately, if you were a fan of these 5 watch faces, they seem to have been officially removed on watchOS 26. So we lost the fire and water, the granite, the liquid metal, Toy Story, and vapor. Which 3 of these were my favorite. I like the liquid metal, Toy Story, and the fire and water one was my favorite. I prefer consumers to have options. It's a darn shame that these got removed. Even though they weren't the most popular ones, there were still options for the consumers. I don't have an explanation why Apple decided it would be a good idea to remove something that already existed. However, a cool feature that did get added on older model Apple Watches is if you have a Series 10 Apple Watch, the second hand will now show was always on display on the California watch face as well as the utility watch face. And there you guys have it. Now you are up to date on everything that was recently changed and all the new features that was added during watchOS 26. Make sure to stick around by hitting that subscribe button because I plan on covering a lot more as the weeks progress. So this way you are up to date on everything new for the Apple Watch side of things. Now if you wish to watch more, maybe want to see the complete video of everything new that was recently added for beta 3 of Apple CarPlay, I covered that in greater detail in this video over there. Thank you so much for watching.